I have very serious concerns about what's happening in that office.
That is the reaction from a lawmaker to what News 4 Investigates has now uncovered about the Department of Children's Services. That's the agency blamed for concealing the truth from foster parents about violent and sexually aggressive children being placed in their homes. The commissioner told us those were cases from the past during a prior administration.
Now keep that in mind when Chief Investigative Reporter Jeremy Finley tells you what happened to one family after the commissioner made that statement.
She was supposed to be a welcome addition to a family already in love with fostering children.
We're one of those, we would take them all if we could, you know. I mean, we love doing it.
But hearing what happened to this family has this member of a state committee overseeing DCS questioning the agency's ability to keep children safe.
I saw one of the foster parents say this is criminal. It should be criminal.
The foster family in rural Middle Tennessee worked with the placement agency, contracted with DCS, and says they clearly told them what children they would not take.
That was violent children, that was aggressively violent, and sexually aggressive children. Well, they assured us that we didn't have to worry about that.
But it was only after a 10-year-old foster child came to stay with them did the family obtain this, an email detailing that foster child had been investigated a year earlier. That investigation found allegations of that girl sexually touching another child were substantiated through a special investigations unit in July 2019. The family says DCS didn't tell them or their placement agency until after she had repeatedly been among their children.
Do you feel that the state is not being transparent enough for parents like you?
I feel that the state is placing children and not being completely 100% honest about their backgrounds.
That very next month, their 6-year-old daughter came to them with a troubling story.
The other little girl told her, said, "This is our secret, you can't tell anybody."
Their daughter then detailed abuse at the hands of the 10-year-old foster child.
When you first hear it, you're really upset.
His claims echo what other families have told News 4 Investigates, that they had no idea of the violent or sexually aggressive histories of children that DCS placed in their homes, only to later have those foster children burn cars and damage homes. When we brought our findings to the commissioner last October, she said those were cases prior to her administration.
The families who you're speaking to come with cases that were from years ago.
But remember, the alleged abuse of this little girl happened after our interview with the commissioner.
That's a huge mistake.
Representative Gloria Johnson, who sits on the state committee that in December blasted DCS for an audit saying caseworkers were at times overwhelmed, says what happened to this girl is further proof that the agency's problems aren't in the past.
Our commissioner needs to answer for that, and she needs to tell people how it's never going to happen again.
News 4 Investigates repeatedly asked for another interview with the commissioner, but was told state law prohibits her from discussing individual cases. Although Johnson voted against it, this committee voted last December to allow DCS to continue on with no further oversight. It's the same month this family's daughter had to start therapy as a sex abuse victim.
A 6-year-old's telling us things that a 6-year-old should never know.
As for DCS, they dispute doing anything wrong. They say the foster child has never been substantiated for sexual behavior, even though the documents provided to the family that you just saw indicate otherwise. They also say they follow departmental policy on disclosure requirements. Jeremy Finley, News 4 Investigates.
If you would like to see what else we've uncovered on DCS, you can find it right now on our News 4 app and WSMV.com.